hearing about other minorities asking Black people to show up and protest against ICE. Ask the Asians instead. Our shit's already being rocked. The working class ones are going to be targeted by ICE just like the Latino community. Hell, a bunch of us are already being deported and often to the wrong country. And then as for the richer ones, Trump has already banned all Chinese students from coming to the US to study and has banned all international students from coming to Harvard, which affects a whole lot of Asian international students. So anybody who looks Chinese, even if they're a US citizen, is going to be affected by this. He's put several South Asian countries on the travel ban list. So yeah, brown Asians are going to be affected too. Anyway, our voting numbers look very similar to Latinos. Just over half of us voted for Kamala and the rest went for Trump. We couldn't just fucking listen to Black people when they told us to vote for the Black lady who wasn't going to take all our civil rights away. And now we want them to come save our asses when they're getting whooped? Also, have you maybe considered that the feds want Black people to show up to the protests? Because then they have an excuse to escalate the violence. Then they have an excuse to call them riots. We saw what happened with the peaceful protests in 2020 after George Floyd was killed by a policeman. Also, if you've been paying any attention at all, Black people have been showing up to support Latinos who are potentially being deported. Look at all the videos from Compton. Just type Compton in your search bar. So why don't we do this? Why don't we let Black people make their own decisions? Stop expecting them to be your personal avengers. Mobilize the Asians. I know that if I'm in front of a cop at a protest, he's gonna think twice about doing anything to me. He's not gonna give me the same grace as a white person, but he's definitely gonna give me more than he gives a Black person. And if you can't go to a protest, just fucking say something, especially if you live in California. Asians, I know there's a lot of you over there. I was born in the Bay Area, so I feel like I should say something. Anyway, yeah, mobilize the Asians. Stay safe out there. So why didn't more Asian Americans vote for Kamala in November? Well, Asians in the US have nothing close to the unity that Black Americans and other members of the African diaspora have. Asian America is so divided that I don't even think there is a thing of Asian Americans. It's just a very convenient way to sort us based on which continent we came from. As Hassan Minhaj said, white racism is hating people who look different from you. Asian racism is hating people who look exactly like you. So let's look at Kamala Harris. She's half Jamaican and half Indian. First of all, a lot of Asian Americans are not kind to mixed people and will often hesitate to accept a mixed person who shares their ethnicity as part of their group. But I've noticed that in the Black community, y'all are just like, okay, you got a Black parent, you're Black. Yes, there is like mixed people dialogue, I see that, but it's nowhere close to the overall alienation that Asian Americans, for example, I'm Chinese and I see, there's a lot of unkind things that people say to half Chinese people, whether their other half is Black or white or anything else. Second of all, Kamala is not only Indian, she is specifically Tamil. She's from the very southern part of India. Among South Asians, according to many of my friends and Hassan, Pakistanis, Sri Lankans, Bangladeshis, they want to differentiate themselves from Indian people and they do not claim Indian people. And among Indian people, a lot of them are not great towards South Indians. There's a lot of colorism because South Indian people tend to be a little bit darker. And then if you zoom out to Southeast and East Asians, we consider South Asians a completely different race. Like, I've heard my own family members say derogatory things about Koreans, who to most people in the US look exactly the fuck like us. So not only do most Asian Americans not consider Kamala part of us because she is mixed and because she is South Indian, a lot of us are trying to suck up to the people in power, specifically whiteness. I'm calling this out. It does not give other people an excuse to be racist toward us. Just letting you know that's the ground rule. A lot of our parents and our grandparents, they left countries that they were actively rebelling against. Like you saw the protests in Hong Kong and South Korea very recently. There's a civil war that went on in Myanmar. Asians have plenty of revolutionary spirit. We have many times in our home countries told the man to suck it. But then we get here, there's this like worship of America because a lot of the immigrant generation doesn't know American history very well or was taught it, the propagandized version during their citizenship exam. So they don't know the history of how minorities, specifically Black and Indigenous people, were treated here. And they think that by supporting like a literal narcissist and being like the favorite child, supporting Trump means that he's not going to touch our community. Like my parents will even look at Cantonese speaking or like lower income Chinese people and be like, oh, if they get deported, it still won't affect us. We are the same ethnicity. They will look at that and be like, oh, but like we got fancy graduate degrees and we got fancy office jobs, so they won't deport us. It's like a competition of pick-me-ism all the way up until you get to the level of Usha Vance or Mitch McConnell's Taiwanese wife, Elaine Chao. A lot of Asian Americans the ones who voted for Trump especially, but like also some people who voted for Kamala or didn't vote, they're like stacked in this endless not like other girls competition until something happens to them. And then suddenly they want to be Asian Americans, suddenly they want to be people of color. So yeah, most Asian Americans didn't see Kamala as one of us. And it's a huge problem. Hope that helps.